Welcome back. Now we move on to Objective 2C, and here we're going to identify basic facts and terms as they pertain to Tempest. Tempest is an Air Force specific program dealing with radio waves and emanations from electronic devices. In terms of cybersecurity, we're looking at encrypted levels of information, national security information. So Tempest actually stands for Transient Electromagnetic Pulse Emanation Surveillance Technology. Tempest is a program that we use to identify vulnerabilities in information systems processing national security information. Again, dealing with levels of classified information. Tempest vulnerabilities could lead to what they call compromising emanations. When we talk about Tempest, compromising emanations, one of the main areas we're looking at is what's referred to as unintentionally emitted signals, also known as compromising emanations. Any electronic device emits some form of electromagnetic interference. If you think about when you're driving a car, you're listening to the radio, you drive under power lines, those power lines are emitting some form of electromagnetic interference. High-powered power lines or high-voltage power lines are generating a lot of power, and they radiate strongly enough to affect the reception, the radio waves coming into your car stereo. Microwaves are another example that can interfere with transmissions. So every electronic device emits these electromagnetic waves in one shape or form. Depending on their power, they can interfere or completely jam communications. So certain measures that we can take to protect our transmission lines is through the use of what they refer to as protected distribution systems, PDSs. So PDSs are wired telecom systems that we use safeguards to allow these safe transmissions of unencrypted classified information. Again, we're dealing with information national security. We're dealing with classified information. The use of PDSs allows us to maintain physical separation. Part of what's required in Tempest is to maintain 3 feet of separation between red and black transmission lines. We'll discuss what red and black is here in a minute, but we're required to maintain 3 feet to prevent those signals from the unencrypted classified information transmitting or leaking over to a unclassified network. So the 2 types of PDSs that we can use, first one is a hardened distribution system, HDS. A hardened distribution system, just as it sounds, it's hardened. We're using hardened solid materials, typically metal, steel, or aluminum. This provides shielding. It also is harder to tamper. I can't just crack it open. I can't cut a little slit into it. I would have to drill. I can also place alarmed carriers. So if I have a junction box, I can place an alarm switch on it, so if somebody accesses that panel, it'll trigger an alarm. I can also put it in continuous view, which means there's a guard on it. They can see it on a consistent basis. That ensures it won't be tampered with. I can also use what's called an SDS, a simple distribution system. And the only difference is a simple distribution system, I'm going to use it in an area that requires a reduced level of physical protection. I might use this actually within a SCIF because the SCIF is already a physically secured area. I can use a simple distribution system such as wood or plastic just to help maintain that 3 feet of separation, but it also gives me visual indicators. Wood or plastic, I can tell if somebody's cracked into it. I can tell if somebody's drilled into it. So a simple distribution system is using wood or plastic versus metal. Just a reduced level of physical protection. As I mentioned, Tempest, we're dealing with unencrypted, classified information. And I referred to that red-black separation, maintaining 3 feet of separation between the two. So when I'm dealing with copper cabling, Cat5, Cat6 cable, because it's a copper cable and I'm transmitting an electronic signal through, it's emitting signals. So copper cabling requires that separation to keep that plain text information from transferring to an unclassified network. So when I say red signal or a red circuit, anything that's on a red side is sensitive, classified information that has not been encrypted. It's in plain text. The way to easily remember it is if it's a red signal, it's easily read. You can read it. It's not encrypted. It's there for anybody to see. If it's a black signal or it's on the black side, This is classified information that has been encrypted. It's now encrypted, you can't read it. It's gibberish. An easy way to remember that is if, when you think about getting that Freedom of Information Act file and they have all that information redacted, all these lines are all blacked out. It's blacked out. It's in the black. You can't read it. So red signal, classified information that's easily read. It's unencrypted. A black signal, you can't see it, can't read it. It's in the dark. It's a black signal. And that concludes Tempest.